Good morning to all delegates. My name is Weilile Gumede, founder of As All Projects. I didn't know that I'd actually be labeled as the case study, as my mentor back in 2018 said, "You are my case study." All right, so I'm just going to play a 3-minute clip that actually summarizes what happened in the past 5 years and how I got to share the story with you. But to just tell you my story, it started in 2015. I had just finished college and I was looking for in-service training and I couldn't find anything. The very same year, I fell pregnant. And in December, I gave birth to a beautiful daughter. And unfortunately, I ended up being a single mother and I didn't have work. And so I had to apply for a social grant. 2 months later, I received my first pay of the grant, which was double for the month that I had applied and the month that, I had everything planned out. I would buy so many things for my child. 700 Rand was just, it was a big budget for me. And to my surprise, when I went to the shops, I could only afford milk and diapers. And that was my turning point. My parents tried their best to provide for me, and I decided that I was going to take care of this child the best way that I could. I gave myself a period of 5 years because I knew that the child would be starting grade R, and I'd never walked to school or went to school in barefoot. But based on the income that I was seeing at each and every month from the social grant, the one thing that I was guaranteed was that my daughter would have to walk to school, something that my parents didn't allow for me until they went on to their old age pension. So I was not going to do that to my daughter. So let me play the clip. Not yet, okay. And so my story begins. I spent the whole of 2016 looking for work, which I was unfortunate. I was even willing to go back to the restaurants that I was working part-time for, and they didn't take me for some reason. And then in 2017, because my child was not on diapers or on formula, I then decided to start using the child support grant for other reasons. I started attending business seminars, using the child support grant to travel. I registered a company. Many people don't believe it up until today that I registered my own company using the child support grant. And I then used the same money to buy data, to go onto YouTube and to research on what business that I could possibly get myself into. There's a project that was in my village. It was right below my house, in a river, in a stream. Hydroponic farming tunnels, state-of-the-art, not functional, dilapidated. I started doing research on hydroponic farming. And then I approached the tribal authorities to give me the land because it's not being used anyways. But there were red tapes. And now, because I was eager, because I knew what was the potential of that hydroponic farming, I just went around Ilembe region, where I come from, looking for these dilapidated spaces. I fortunately landed on a land reform farm that was also dilapidated. And I went to the trust and I begged. And I said, please give me a year. I will secure all the funds, I'll resuscitate the farm. I just need somebody to give me a chance to work. And that's what I did. I started entering business competitions. I would travel using that very same social. Okay, I'll play the video now. There we are.
This story is about how you can turn a few hundred rand into a few million rand.
I did it. Hi, I'm Weilile, and I'm going to tell you how I made a multi-million rand farming business using my child support grant. My story starts in 2014. I've got 2 degrees in dental assisting and chemical engineering. I'm unemployed, and guess what? I found out that I was pregnant. I was 24 when I fell pregnant, and all of a sudden I had a responsibility, and I couldn't find work. Therefore, I had to find other ways of generating an income so that I could raise my daughter. So one day I was walking around, I was just frustrated, and then I bumped into these tunnels, and I didn't even know what they were used for, and I started doing my research. And so I spotted an opportunity there. At that time, I was collecting 350 rands child support grant every month, and then I used that to buy data to go onto YouTube and do my research. So on YouTube, I found out that these tunnels were for hydroponic farming. So traditional farming is done on soil, and you use a lot of water, and it's very labor intensive. But hydroponic farming, on the other hand, is soilless. We don't use soil. We use these wood shavings, and the irrigation is controlled by these drippers so that you know how much you're feeding to a plant at a particular interval. I learned how to fix the hydroponic system and make money, but I didn't have land to grow the vegetables. But the problem, the government bought this farm for the community, but they didn't know how to use the system, and so it was left dilapidated. The land was managed by a trust, and I offered them a deal. Give me the land for 1 year, I'll sell some vegetables and start paying you back. So I've got the land, but no labor. And even worse, I didn't have money to pay them. So I convinced these guys to work with me for 3 months until we start producing, and then I'll pay them off the sales thereafter. So after that, I went and bought seedlings for 80 cents a unit to start planting. And our first product was tomatoes. We needed a lot of money. There was just so much to do around the farm. So the one way to make money was publicity.
One thing Weilile understood really well is the power of publicity. She spent a lot of time working on press and interviews because she knew that was one way to get more grants and more funding.
My business today now worth 9 million rands, and it all started with 350 rands child support grant. To young Africans, I would say, you are unemployed, you're a graduate, try anything. You never know where you might land. It worked for me. I didn't have a formula. You just learn on the road.
Weilile's story is an example of somebody with an incredible amount of passion who gained access to grant funding and could find online education to turn this farming into a success story.
I am seen. Are you? Thank you. All right. So that pretty much summarizes my start from 2018 up until 2022. And we are an enterprise that is involved in the cultivation of commodity crops, cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers. The problem that I was trying to solve that I didn't know at the time that I was solving for 30 more people was unemployment. At the time, it was sitting at 29%. Seeing to date sitting at 34.5%. I was coming from a poor community, and the poverty was not just physical, but also mentally. Also mentally. And then there was a grant dependency. At some point, my brother, my mother, myself, and my father, we were all earning from the Social Security. And then the biggest problem that I was trying to solve was the unused farming spaces. Why did we all have why do we have unused farming land when there's such a high unemployment rate and we're all depending on the government. And then I did my research further. I found out that KZN is producing around about 4% of what it consumes. 99% of the beans are produced outside KZN, but 99% of the people that consume beans are in KZN. So that was something for me to look at. And I found out that the benefits of producing locally, you have a longer shelf life, you create jobs locally, you stabilize the local economy, you decrease unemployment, there's decreased nutrients deficiencies, because when you're getting products from all the way from Limpopo to KZN, by the time it gets to KZN, half the number of the nutrients are gone. And then it would lower the transport costs. Our unique selling proposition is that we offer fresh produce all the year round, because we're using hydroponic farming as well as greenhouse farming. Our business model, we acquire the tunnels, dilapidated tunnels, we refurbish the infrastructure, we grow crops, we access the markets, and then eventually we want to supply nationally. And this is the business model in pictures of the work that we have actually done. Our vision is actually to lead the way towards farming innovations in the Ilembe region and throughout South Africa by improving the productivity of farming land and the nutritional value of food produced, while enhancing the environment as well. And our mission is to attain an all-year-round sustainable production and supplyability through enhancing other small-scale farmers towards the best use of land and provision to both consumer and small-scale farmer, and a reliable market of high-quality farm produce. Our product offering, we grow peppers, tomatoes, and we've even tried leafy greens as our trial project, and as well as cucumbers. We've supplied the likes of local Pick n Pays, food lovers market, schools nutrition programs, the general public, and the hawkers. Like in the video, we did start in 2018 with just 4 tunnels. To date, in 2021, Azawal Projects owns 22 tunnels and 3 other projects that we've been working with. And in 2022, our plan was to get into agro-processing our primary produce. These are the projects that we've successfully run over the years. And the management team, I'm even shy to say, I'm literally the person, the go-to person. And then what I do is I'm currently training supervisors to be able to manage the projects in my absentia. I've attended a lot of business courses in YDA, and that is what helped me secure most of the fundings. I've partnered with the business incubator, the people that incubated me while it was still an idea. My suppliers, Coastal Farmers, Farmers Agricare, Ndlela Agri, Livestock Wealth, which is the company that actually helped me expand my footprint into getting into other projects. With the 20 tunnels that we have, we are able to produce 4,000 kgs of produce per week. At an average price of R8.50, we are able to produce 1.6 million annually. And then we usually plant on the outside to keep the farm clean. And that additional income comes from lettuce, spinach, and other herbs. At a 300,000 rands, we are able to sustain ourselves. Our social impact, being a woman and knowing what it's like to have dependents, we are able to employ or groom 2 out of 5 women with 1 out of 5 males, because males also need to be groomed, because once you start bringing an income as a woman and your man is not working, it becomes something else. So we do try to balance things out, but moving towards women being the priority as they are caregivers to their children. Since 2018, Azawal Projects has won a number of prizes, from the Entrepreneur to UKZN Sansom Women of the Future, ESCOM BIC, and last but not least, I won the ShopRite Hustle competition. And we've been quite on other magazines as well. And the fundings that we've received to date, we started with the NYDA in 2019. SAB Kickstart came in 2020. 2021 was a loan funding from NEF, and then in 2021 we were able to secure the Agribusiness Development Agency grant funding for expanding the tunnel farming. Thank you so much for your time. And we've got here the link to our website and also the video that I played earlier on, if you'd like to have it. Thank you.